Well, let's speak now to Caroline Allams, who's an online safety educator. Caroline, the thing that's striking about this is that outwardly there was no hint, there was no suggestion, no clue about what Molly was seeing, what she was being exposed to, what she was engaging with. How can parents spot if their child is at risk of being exposed to such harmful material?
I think it's a difficult space because the internet is a very abstract space, and for children who are venturing on the internet unaided, it's a really difficult space for them to perceive potential risk. And it's absolutely right that pressure is put on the tech companies to take action on removing harmful material. And it's important to remember that the internet was never designed with children in mind. And even though it sounds like a simplistic solution, having regular, relevant dialogue around children's digital experiences can go a long way to mitigate online vulnerability. We work closely with primary schools as an early intervention before children move towards digital autonomy. But we need to create a culture of dialogue around online experiences at home and at school. And we expect children to be able to instinctively know about technology because they're so often described as digital natives. This is actually unhelpful because it assumes that because they can manage the functionality of devices with impressive confidence, it means that we can assume that they can also cope with the interactivity. And we know from the results that we hear every day that this is not the case. And online vulnerability means that that children need significant, regular, impactful digital education if they're to thrive in the online space.
I mean, the thing that comes across really clearly, Caroline, is your view that you can arm children to protect themselves by teaching them and educating them about how to see through the kind of harmful material, or to avoid it, or to report it. What role do you think the social media companies themselves have to play in all of this?
There's unquestioningly, they need to recognise that children increasingly are using their platforms, their games. Little notice is being taken of the age restrictions, and I understand that the greater the privacy of a user, the easier it is for those who have ill intent to operate under the radar. There is a high inevitability that children will encounter inappropriate and potentially harmful content. But we still need to get more comfortable with getting uncomfortable topics out in the open in an age-appropriate way. And we must remove the shame in talking about what children are being exposed to. It's not children's fault that they see this content, and yet we responsibilize children with their own online safety. And there's an unhelpful undercurrent that they perhaps might have been able to avoid it. Children are often away from the gaze of parents and carers when they're on screens, and the pandemic has really meant that this has happened, more and more. But I suggest that we take every bit of help available that we can for our own children as teachers and as parents. Privacy settings are readily available, following age restrictions, saying no, getting devices out of bedrooms, especially overnight, making rules around the family that children ask to use screens, and have a chat about what they're going to be doing, what they have been doing on their screens, so that you create this environment of healthy fear, so that children right from the beginning of their digital lives can move towards digital autonomy. And thrive.
Yeah, that's really useful, practical pointers there for people watching. Caroline, thank you very much. Caroline Allams, online safety educator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time now for us to get